Happening now, an investigation underway after a deadly shooting where our cameras were rolling as more gunshots were fired near the scene.
The place where Carlos Thornton lost his life is where his family and friends came together.
It's quite obvious my baby touched y'all too. He was a fun-loving boy.
Carlos was 23 when last Thursday he died while his house was on fire. His family and friends say it's still surreal.
It took a piece of me.
I am overwhelmed with this.
Well, not only have we lost our son, we also lost our home.
I think I'm still in shock. Has reality set in right now? Not really, but we're in shock. We really are. It was so unexpected.
The tears and cries from his family showed the impact he left behind.
He always had like an adultish, mature-ish manner about himself. And I don't think he was afraid what happened. I don't think he was afraid.
There's going to be a lot missing from my family. Carlos was the energy of the family. He brought that type of energy, he brought that vibe to the family.
And with some laughter and tears, together they released their balloons to send to Carlos.
I love my baby with all my heart, but at the end of the day, I don't know how I've been holding up, but I have been because so many people have gave us so many kind words and said so many nice things about our child. It's unbelievable. So we know we raised him right.
His family say in times like this, they're thankful to have each other.
It's an unfortunate event, but this is an opportunity to really celebrate life. One thing, God only takes the good soldiers.
Never hug on your folks, because you can't do it after they're gone.
It's not an unusual sound in the South Alabama woods. A rattlesnake sending out its warning. Most people try to avoid it, but on this day, a group searched for it.
Are we ready?
Yep. Don Childry is a rattlesnake expert with all the tools we need.
If we hear one rattling, we'll take this hose back out of the hole, take one of these treble hooks that has the barbs pinched down on it. We'll stick the hose back down in the hole, jiggle it around a little bit, put a little pressure on it, and he'll crawl right out.
Now all we need is to find a gopher hole. It doesn't take long, so we listen in.
Now you'll hear it when it rattles. It sounds like bacon frying.
What we're listening for is one of these guys, an eastern diamondback rattlesnake.
They're incredibly strong. They can strike about half their length. Not very friendly.
Especially when you're hunting them.
Yeah, the best thing to do if you see one, just leave it alone.
Childry has hunted these snakes for 47 years. He says he's never been bitten by one. Nor has anyone at the Rattlesnake Rodeo, an annual event that draws thousands to the small town of Ott.
In this part of the country, it's not unusual to find a rattlesnake in your yard. We try to tell people what to do and what not to do if they encounter one.
It's a chance to showcase the snakes and have a good time. And it's also the reason Childry hunts them.
About how many of these have you caught over the years?
Gosh, thousands.
We weren't so successful on our hunt, but they brought two along to show us.
Show you the business end of it.
They have plenty for the show.
Right now we've got 35.
And plenty of time for hunting the prey. That's also a predator.
This kid came up to me and he's like, "You'll never be great."
They think, these other teams think that, oh, these poor little guys, you know, they feel sorry for them. They got disabilities, they think, oh, they can't play football.
What gives a person that doesn't have a disability wrong with them? What gives them the right to come up to one of us and say, you can't do this because of this and that?
We're equal. I mean, we all can play the same as these hearing schools do. You know, the only thing is difference is we can't hear.
For 126 years, they have been no different. But this season, the Silent Warriors are trying something extraordinary. For the first time ever.
What gap are you supposed to go to?
The School for the Deaf is playing with the School for the Blind.
The only question I asked myself was, how was I going to be able to communicate? Me being visually impaired and the other guys being hearing impaired.
The idea actually came from the head coach, Paul Kulik. You see, his team had one major flaw.
You know, I'm looking at my boys, and I didn't see any size in players I had. I'm looking at ESPN, I got these bigger players. I always thought, you know, it'd be nice if I could have them come over here and play for us.
The idea seemed preposterous. How in the world would you get people who can't see well play with people who can't hear?
Do you understand? Okay. He'll sign to me, and then I'll explain what Paul said, and then most of the time that'll work.
Zach Beaver has high-frequency hearing loss, meaning he can't hear high pitches, but he is the backbone of this Silent Warriors football team.
Hey, there's a big boy on center, okay? Big boy. Just beat him up.
Zach's ability to sign and speak takes what seems impossible and making it possible. The first month of the season was rough. The Silent Warriors lost 3 of their first 4 games, so then they made a drastic change. They put Tanner Wood at quarterback.
On 22 trap.
The most important leader for communication, he's visually impaired, and he's leading an offense that cannot hear him.
Play 45, 18 keep. We didn't have that much leadership. We were falling apart. That's where I'm here to prove a point and say, just because I'm visually impaired and I'm playing with deaf kids, doesn't mean I can't follow my dream of playing a sport that I love.
Tanner's attitude and his passion were contagious, and then things started to change.
With Tanner's leadership, just being able to see the communication there and how that's all working and everything, you know, making us a better team, you know, we want to be a good team.
You see, football is the same on every level, deaf, blind, or neither. You need passion, you need drive, most importantly, you need leadership.
Me being a senior, being with the other seniors, they helped me become a better leader.
It's all about who is willing and who wants to win more. Because if you want it bad enough and you work for it, you can do and you can get anything.
After starting the season 1-3, the Silent Warriors reeled off 4 straight wins. They averaged 38 points, and they claimed the program's 16th league championship. Those poor little guys.